Welcome back to the channel. So today I am going to be filming a 2020 rewind, like a wrap up of what I've been doing this year and sort of what I hope for next year. So I'm just gonna jump straight into the video. As we know, 2020 hasn't really, gone to plan for most things. So I had a lot planned for 2020, but a lot of it didn't end up happening, unfortunately. But I think that I still made quite, a lot happen this year that I'm quite happy about. So January started out pretty well. My friends and I had booked to go to Prague, and it was my best friend Gemma and my two uni friends Eloise and Clara, and we had booked on Boxing Day, and we were going in January because we had a reading week from university, and we were so excited. But actually 2 days before we went to Prague, I got tonsillitis, and I had to go to the hospital and get an emergency doctor's appointment because I was leaving at 8 a.m. on Monday, so it was the weekend. So I did have tonsillitis pretty bad while I was in Prague, but I don't think it really ruined the trip. Like, when I think back to Prague, I don't think about the fact that I was very sick. Luckily, because I think we went on the third day of my tonsillitis, it was kind of starting to go and the antibiotics were working. So January was actually great. We had that trip, and it's so funny because my friends and I laugh about it constantly, that while we were on that trip we were making jokes about how people were wearing masks in the airport and saying people are overreacting about COVID, and now look at us. But I think, January, we were so lucky to have been able to go away that month. And then February started out as well as January went. My best friend and I went to see the Jonas Brothers. I bought the tickets for her for Christmas, and we were so pumped. We love the Jonas Brothers. But no, that was such a special day for her and I. We went up to London by ourselves, I think for the first time ever, and it was amazing. I then spent Valentine's Day with my friend Caitlin. We had a little sorry party at my house, and then my sister and my brother-in-law actually ended up joining us that night. And then for the most of February, my friends from uni actually ended up dropping out, and I would go and visit them. They would come down to Worthing, I would go to Crawley or London to visit my other friend. So it was just a lot of day trips out, which was so much fun, which I wish we could still do, but obviously we can't. And then this one particular day in London, I sprained my ankle. We got a little bit tipsy and I sprained my ankle, and then actually ended up walking around London with a sprained ankle for the rest of the day, because it hurt, but it didn't hurt as much as a sprained ankle usually hurts, so I just kind of ignored it because I was drunk. But I think I've got a photo of my ankle. It really it hurt. In March, luckily I got to see Clara and Eloise one more time before we went into lockdown. So we went into lockdown, and I think it was the day after I saw them, we all went to Brighton for the day, which was so much fun. I think we kind of knew it was the last time we were going to see each other for a while, so we really made the most of it. But then obviously we went in lockdown, and I spent most of March in lockdown, like the rest of the world, to be honest, so that wasn't too upsetting. April and May, and then I feel like April and May can really be classed in the same area as March mostly. We were in lockdown for all 3 of those months. My mum was home from work, and they just, it was a weird time for everybody. I think you can all relate. We all went through it. I personally took up TikTok, made some questionable TikToks. I baked a lot, I did everything, did the Chloe Ting challenge, did all that, but I feel like it's better than the lockdown that we're currently in, as it was hot outside, we could go outside, whereas now it's it's cold, it was raining. So those 3 months were kind of in the house. I did have uni work that I was still doing, I was finishing my first year at uni last semester, and obviously it was all done online, and that was all very weird. We were sort of just getting used to that. And then we have June, and then June was like the beginning of the social distance meetings, which did make lockdown a lot easier. I remember we went to the beach quite a lot. We went to the park because we were allowed to meet outside, and that was like all great. It was a lot better than, you know, being stuck in the house. It was a bit of a depressing month though, because my best friend and I were actually meant to be going to Australia. We were going to do a multi-city trip to Australia, Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne and Perth, and as you can imagine, it got cancelled, so that was kind of sad. Then in July, my uni friends Clara and Eloise came to Worthing for like to swim in the sea because it was so hot in July, so they came to see me and we met outside, socially distanced. Clara was actually just about to leave for Croatia, so it was sort of our goodbye to her before she left. Then I also went to Bournemouth to my best friend's because it was her 19th birthday, so Caitlin and I drove up to Gemma's and stayed in a Travelodge, and we had such a great time there. We took so many photos. There's a vlog up on my channel that you can go watch. It was one of my first videos of our time there, and we literally had such a great trip. Then actually 2 days after her birthday is our other friend's birthday, Helena, so we went out for her birthday and went for drinks because at this stage you could still go out and drink. Lastly in July, Eloise came down to visit me. Eloise has a YouTube channel, by the way, if you want to go subscribe. I'll put the link in my description. And she came down and visited me and we got a little bit tipsy. Then we had August, and in August it was so hot. I remember it being like literally boiling. We also went to a maze, which was like a maze of corn, I guess. I don't know what people call it. And that was so much fun. And then I dyed my hair pink the first time this year. I dyed my hair pink a few times this year, but for the first time this year I dyed my hair pink. And it was so pretty, not gonna lie. It was a moment. That moment has passed, but it was a moment. I also drove off to London for my friend Eloise's 20th birthday, and that was so scary. Driving up to London was so scary. In September, Gemma and I were actually planning to go to France to visit my dad, but we were leaving tickets right up to the last minute. She booked time off work just to make sure, and we were leaving tickets, but we decided not to go in the end just because Europe was starting to close again and it was just a bit worrying and we didn't really want to get stuck out there. So we thought that it was the best choice to just stay in England. So instead, she came down and she came down twice and spent quite a lot of time here. And honestly, we went to this place called Sea House, which is so much fun, and it doesn't open during the winter, so I'm so excited for it to open again. The place that we used to drink also had a pool area downstairs, so we'd play a lot of pool. Tried to get better, but I don't know about that. And then my friend Eloise came down again. I actually saw her a lot during this time. She came down again and we drank. Yeah. That was fun. And we went to like this sandy beach because obviously we have pebbles at the beach that I live near, so we drove to this sandy beach and ate McDonald's in the sand, but then we got sanded on McDonald's. It wasn't very pleasant, but it's alright, we got over it. Then in October it was my 20th birthday, so we celebrated that. I celebrated with all my friends and obviously my mum and my sister on my actual birthday, and my mum took me up to Bluewater on my birthday so we could go shopping because she knows I love to shop. So that was so much fun. Bluewater's like an hour and a half drive, so it's not too bad, and that was a great day. Unfortunately, I did get tonsillitis again, and it started on my birthday. Luckily it wasn't too bad on my birthday, but this tonsillitis actually ended up being viral. tonsillitis instead of bacterial that I'd had, and I ended up getting it twice in October. It went away for a couple of days and then it came back. It was not a fun moment, I won't lie. I also went to a drive-in with Caitlin to see Greece. That was so much fun. We'd booked that months ago and it had been anticipated, but it was so much fun. Caitlin and I also went pumpkin picking, which was a great day out. It did rain while we were pumpkin picking, but you know, it was the end of October, so what do you expect? And then Mum and I carved the pumpkins. There's a video of us doing that, and that was so much fun. Then in November, my friend Clara, who had been in Croatia, actually surprised me. So my friend Ella Reese came down for my birthday a couple weeks later once I was feeling better, and I picked her up from the station, brought her back to my house, and then there was a knock at my door and Clara was here, and she lied to me because she'd been in England for 2 weeks and she had to quarantine, and she'd been lying to me for 2 weeks about where she was, but it's okay, I forgive her because it was a great surprise. Into lockdown again a couple days later. We went into the November lockdown, which was from I think the 3rd until the 2nd of December. So that lockdown again was not great. And then finally in December, we went on quite a few day trips, Caitlin and I. We tried to do as much as we can, kind of relive the summer that we'd had, and that was so much fun. We went shopping in Brighton, we went to the Viaduct, we went Christmas tree farms. It was such a great time and we really tried to make the most, obviously being in the same bubble. And her and I were also going to the gym every day. We were really like trying to do things with our lives. And then obviously we got put into tier 4 on Boxing Day. I spent Christmas with my sister and my brother-in-law and my mum in the morning, and then they had to leave in the afternoon, but it was still a lot of fun. And then tomorrow is New Year's Eve, and it's just going to be my mum and I, obviously because of tier 4 restrictions. So my 2020 was definitely interesting. I feel like everyone's going to say that. I feel like as much as it was annoying being in lockdown and all that, I feel like I still did get to have a lot of experiences, make a lot of memories with my friends, and you know, have a fun time. I did get to go away this year, which is a lot more than other people did, even if it was only just like a little trip away, and it was such a great time. I have gotten sick quite a few times, tonsillitis 3 times, that wasn't so great. But overall, it has been such a great year. Hoping 2021 allows me to travel more and go out more. I really miss like actual social interaction and not just like FaceTiming and Zoom calls, and even like classes. I miss having face-to-face classes. Obviously, everything we do is online. Anyway, so that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me about your 2020. If you got to, I'm not even going to say it because you didn't get to do what you wanted. We all know that. But tell me what your hopes are for 2021. And I wish you guys a happy new year.